Hello, you beautiful people. It is Bob Phibbs, the Retail Doc, and you are live with me on Sunday, September the 14th, 2025. Do me a favor and let me know where you're joining me in from around the world. I'm broadcasting live on YouTube and LinkedIn and Facebook right now. And also, you might notice that there's a little button that says StreamYard Privacy. You have to click that because I use a third party to get comments in. So it always works better if you're part of the party. So give me some thumbs up. Let me know you're there, and more importantly, show those comments so that I know what you are doing. All right, so I think we are set. Again, if you're joining me live, I am going to be answering these questions live, and I have a lot of them today, kind of a wide variety. I don't use all of them because sometimes I sit there and I think, what is the question here? But in general, I try to answer all of them whenever I can. We have not done this for a couple of months because I always ask for at least 5 questions because I have nothing else to talk about. It's just me talking about gardening or something like that. So there you go. We have a lot of questions today, but first off, we had a spirited discussion this week on Facebook page. Cash is king. I had posted a picture of this sign in a retailer's window and POS. And it was fascinating to see the back and forth between different people. And finally, after 54 comments, I said, well, I guess I'm going to write a blog. So this afternoon, or right after this broadcast, actually, I'm going to post my thoughts on it. And some of you are going to be probably a little upset, and others of you are going to feel vindicated. But the reality is, quite simply, if you're selling items that are under $20, I totally get that cash is king. But beyond that, there are studies that prove that that is not the best way to think of things. And we are in the middle of September. This is the time that we see an awful lot of people join SalesRx Plus. SalesRx is my online retail sales training program. It's what we are literally training hundreds and thousands of people around the world with. If you are stuck saying, what is the next level of my business? How can I make higher profits and sell my better merchandise quicker? Well, that's the thing to do. If you're not, and you're still holding on to more discounts and you're thinking that the answer is going to be, oh, we're having this event where we're giving everybody champagne. Yeah, events are fine, but they rarely make as much as sales training because sales training touches every single sale you do. And if the employees can't sell, then what the hell are they doing there? There you go. The Bob being a little bit more blunt. Hey, Jose, I'm glad you're here from Bon Dia, my friend. Exactly. Michaela, glad to see you here. Nancy, wonderful. I'm answering your question or your point this morning. So let's get to them. We have a lot of questions here. And again, at any point you want to ask a question, type it in so I know that you are there. And you can also give me a thumbs up because the algorithms are changing. And soon it'll just be AI commenting and we won't know. So there you go. Not to say I don't love AI, but it's going to be changing everything we know about marketing, certainly when I think they're figuring that the way it's progressing, that by certainly 2026 this time, most of your ads are going to be generated by AI. And those of us who are content creators, that in some ways feels great. And in some ways feels like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? But let's not go there. We have Emily Webb's first question to me, which is a little bit long. I had a long discussion with a store owner today about how to make your shopping experience about fall or any seasons. What can stores offer to give that experience? Is there one event, product, choice, or display? Or is it about giving an experience to all of your customers? I dug in the archives and found a poster that our downtown made years ago called Awesome Autumn. The merchants of Main Street would like to welcome you to Awesome Autumn. That's hard to say over and over. It's like Black Bug's blood. Then it had a list of what each merchant had as you walked from one end of Main Street to the other. The things they offered were fall themed depending on the merchant, and flyers were posted everywhere. The visitors could walk in and see things like chai lattes, fall leaf jewelry, warm cozy sweaters, spiced candles, etc. We also had things like a scarecrow contest and decorated the lamppost with dried corn husks and pumpkins. Everyone loved it, but this Main Street, like so many others, have since run out of gas. It was all so festive, but not anymore. And now the sidewalks are empty. What do you suggest to get Main Street merchants to work together again for the benefit of it all? Well, let me just say that Main Street is a microcosm of your community. And I think that we have gotten into this place where charity for all is out the window and one for all and all for one. It's like, well, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? And main streets have a big problem because oftentimes they were championed by one person, and that one person made it look easy and made it look like everybody's all together and everybody is wonderful. And Jose Luis, like some franchises, some people do all the work, and then other people say, well, they should be doing more instead of pitching in and trying to find a way to help with that. So I think if I was trying to find something to unify Main Street, it's really simply, and you have alluded to it quite well here, is decorate downtown. There's nothing that attracts people like banners and flowers and pretty things. That means having lights in the wintertime. That means finding, a plant service to. There comes Alex, who's a nursery center in Washington, state of Washington. Having things that make that whole area look special and people are intrigued. It's basically Main Street. You have to think of it as like one giant window, and you've got to decorate it well enough that stops people, because most main streets are going to be 25 to 35 miles an hour and it's easy to get through them. But we've got to go through and figure out it's one big window. And that's the idea. So your previous Main Street had the right idea, but who goes first? And I get it. There's few of you who are really go-getters. I did I can't quite think. Is it Colorado Springs? I never quite remember it. When you come out of Denver and you go to this one, and then you drop down to go to Aspen. I can't think what Glenwood Springs. And they had hired me to speak to the merchants about getting their downtown renovated, and talk to the retailers, and they were trying to get things done, but they had a lot of legacy building owners who really didn't want to do anything, and they're letting the buildings, just look shabby, and they're waiting for their time to sell them. That's a problem. I get it. But knowing all of that, you still have to figure out that the window has got to be fixed, because the conversation with those building owners is your property isn't going up. If you look at other regions where this has happened, property values have gone up 25 to 40% if you take some money. But the idea that, just waiting it out is going to make you an investment has got to be changed. But still, it does come down to the merchants. The merchants are the ones that have got to say it's going to look different here. And I don't pretend to say it's easy, but the first thing I would look at is get everybody to understand it's the window. I know across from me in Hudson, New York, they have a windows contest in December. I know up in Saratoga Springs, they have one in race season up in August. The best window, that idea to get people to do it. But even then, that's still only in the merchants. It's not on the streets, right? So on the streets is what matters. I hope that helps. That was a long question to me. And Nancy says, trying to get the whole Main Street together is like herding cats. I totally get it, but that shouldn't stop you, right? That shouldn't stop you. And if you're enjoying what I'm saying, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you're out there so that we can keep the party going. Nancy says, what's a design choice you've seen in a store that told you more about its brand than any words ever could? Wow, that's an intriguing question. Took me about 10 seconds to think of it, but I can't quite think of the brand name. So I saw a picture, it wasn't in there, but of a woman's fitting room where they had a map, and then they also had markers, and they wanted you to write something positive to the next person coming in the dressing room, fitting room, and also pinpoint where you were from. And the message that I got from that was, we are a community and we're building community. And I thought that was pretty cool, instead of just we're trying to sell frocks. So it was a young person's, might have been Aerie. That kind of sounds familiar, but it sounded like it was really focused on understanding that customer and empowering young women. Jenny says, any thoughts on offering plant repotting for free? Up until now, we charge a small amount depending on the size of the pot. Small number would not affect profit. I'm not sure if there's a marketing ploy or what, but I would maybe lean into it if it is marketing and make it into like a repotting workshop where they pay a small fee, but they get the coaching, the soil, and insider tips. And you're going to position this as a skill building exercise to teach them how to do it. That would be my number one. I've got two other ideas. It's a VIP perk. So instead of everybody gets this for free, it's only if you're in our loyalty club. That might be great. It's a reward for belonging instead of just anybody gets this. But it also could be offer a plant spa service where they bring it in, you drop it off, you're going to repot it, you're going to clean off the leaves, fertilize it, and return it looking fresh, but it's for a premium. And I believe in this age of do it for me, that would get a lot of attention. I know I used to have African violets. I used to get them at the big box, and then I'd put them into a little bit larger pot and had the violet pot, right? I must have 8 of those because repotting them is not so easy, getting the little crown up and down. And I would have paid anyone, like, here, just take this and bring it back to me. So consider that. Forget the freebie idea. Think of the idea of how do I get more sales for it. By the way, if you like what I'm saying, you can always give me a thumbs up. Let me know you're there with thumb hearts, etc. Susan says, from your perspective, what mindset do independent retailers need most right now to thrive and keep inspiring our communities? It's over, heads down, life sucks. Adopt that and you repel everybody. So do just the opposite. I call it egg bach. Everything is going to be okay. That is the spirit you've got to have. That's got to be the spirit that you're at a committee meeting, you're at downtown, you're at Main Street, any other meeting that you have together, everything's going to be okay. The catastrophization, we have so used words that have no meaning anymore. We can throw out a Holocaust or Civil War. We can kind of say anything anymore without actually taking the time to say, is that really the best words? There are 1,000 reasons to be grateful today. And if we don't find those, then I think what we end up doing is just sitting in a sad pot and finding other people who like it. And I think that's not a good place to play. So hope that helps. Becca says, yesterday I had a man and his wife come in. They were from a neighboring small town. She was here to receive cancer treatment. They bought a couple of drinks from our cooler, and the man said he liked the store, but that it was, quote, too rich for our blood. What's the best response? You can think of all kinds of responses, right? I hope you did something nice, but I'd call it what it is. Hey, I understand that we're not for everybody. We try to carry things that last and bring joy every day. You could do that, or you could add on, or just say, we'd love to see you back anytime you're in town, even if it's just to browse and enjoy. That's about it. You know, people who charge less know what their products are worth. That's what I always say, but I wouldn't have said that in that situation. All right. So Suzanne has a very long one. Basically, she had a guy, I guess, or a car repair or something. Guy came in for a windshield quote. While he's in there, they write up the whole quote, and he says, "Oh, this bench seat isn't moving back. It's a 1972 Le Mans, and could you look at it?" And so they looked at it, and it was just a wire that needed to be reconnected, and so they did that. And the windshield, the guy picks it up. And 3 weeks later, he comes back and he goes, "Oh, hey, that bench doesn't work anymore. You need to fix it for free." And she said, "It's not our fault." And he goes, "Yes, it is. I'm going to sue you because you'll pay it, because suing is too expensive." And she goes, "No, I won't." So she had the video of what she had done and had the work order saying what all that they were doing. And her point was that in the last 30 days, they've been seeing this more and more, that there's probably TikTok videos telling people what to do and how to get free stuff. And I think that probably is as much in retail as anything else. And so I boiled it all down to try to get to your question, which always, by the way, start with the question when you are commenting so that I know what you really need, so that I understand it. I think what you're asking is, how should I handle customers who try to get free repairs or product by blaming us for damage we didn't cause? I think certainly in your case, you did an excellent job. She had the video and could actually show the guy, but an intake where you walk somebody around with a checklist like we have at rental copies now, noting any condition and having them initial it, makes it really harder for them to get free stuff. But I'm sure some of you have run into that as well. So I'm sure that it is a problem. Just understand that there are people out there that are saying, "Oh, well, we can do this." The other one, which is not in here, is how people will trash your online reviews. I know I was surprised by a guy the other day. He said, "Did you know that Indeed people can slam you on your ratings for Indeed?" And that's really a big deal because a lot of you use Indeed. And I said, "I didn't know that." So if they get pissed off, then they get some of their other friends and they slam you and say how awful you are. Yeah, you just got to answer them, etc. I had a funny thing. I had a person want a consulting contract with me, and we started the call. It was just so weird. I just kept saying, like, I didn't understand what you're after, and I think you're out of the ballpark, and I can't help you. I don't know what you're trying to fix. And within 10 minutes, there was a 1-star review of me on for the Retail Doctor on Google. By the way, if you want to go to search the Retail Doctor, go to Google and give me a better review. That would be great. But it was a little surprising to me because I had to answer it like, yeah, this is from a person that would never, that I said is not a fit. And it's from a company that's not even a real company. So I think you have to address all of those things, and we've got to be vigilant after bad things come in, but also being very proactive. So if you have stories about that, you could certainly enter those in comments. And by the way, we're about halfway through. So do me a favor. If you got a comment you want me to a question you want me to answer, put it in here. And if you have a comment that this is working for you, let me know. If this is helpful for you, give me a 5. Put a 5 in comments if this is helpful for you. All right. So Graham says, what is the shopping behavior going to be like in the next few months of this year? Well, Graham, that's a great question. What we're seeing is a resilient consumer. I think depending on the product, if you have higher prices, people are paying them. Consumer confidence, we keep hearing, is going down and people having trouble. And yet we saw Macy's had the best in 3 years. We've seen Nordstrom is up. We saw Walmart talked about how they're attracting affluent customers. I think if your widgets are much smaller, I think you're going to be harder hit because tariffs are probably going to hit you as well. But the key to all of it is those who fail to plan to fail. So whatever that's going to be, you're going to have to understand. And I think this is something that entrepreneurs have to learn every day, is you got to get up every day and say, I'm going to be the best I can do today. And when I walk out of the door, did I do my best today? Doesn't mean like, oh, did I kill it? You have to always be thinking, am I doing the best? And that means the best for yourself first, and then your crew. And that's going to happen to your customers. If we're not thinking that way and we're just walking through it and saying, well, I read the newspaper today. It's like, yeah, don't do that. There's nothing there that's designed to help you. In fact, in Facebook, the challenge we've got right now, I'm about to put another blog next week about fixing loneliness with retail. Look at yourself when you're bored, you're waiting in line 15 seconds at the grocery store. What do? We pull out our phone because I'm bored. That's teaching the brain I don't have to think. I need that machine. So just try that this week. Is you're sitting in line somewhere, you're stuck in traffic, don't pick up the phone. See what thoughts come to you, what ideas. Ask yourself, what could I do to be even better this holiday season? How could I find our customers in a new place? And ask those questions in those down moments instead of defaulting to the phone to entertain you, because I guarantee you, your best ideas will never come from that phone. If you agree with me, do me a favor and give me some thumbs up. I don't see anyone commenting all of a sudden. So give me some thumbs up. Talk to me here, kids. All right. And this is the one that got a lot of people to answer. Heather asked, I would love to know how other people respond to customers asking this question. They ask, how is the store doing? Or they might ask me, are you hitting your sales goals? It's on me that so many people ask such a question. Maybe I'm doing something that gives them the vibe that the store is not doing well. I've got no idea, but my inventory changes and moves so quickly, and I'm really thankful for that. However, a lot of people ask a lot of questions about finances. Sometimes they'll say, how are you doing in this location? It would be better if you're downtown. That's really strange, but I'd love to know other people's input, how to handle. Well, it's interesting, and there were several people have answered this across the day yesterday. But I think there are 2 possibilities. Why do they ask? Well, they're concerned about you. They see all your merchandise and they can't believe anybody would buy it. It's human, right? Or it could mean you're doing really well and they're going to be okay. Or it could mean misery loves company. They've got a business and it's not doing well, and they want you to say like, oh, it's terrible because of X, Y, and Z, and then you can all sit there and go, oh yes, X, Y, and Z is terrible, and then you can go back to your store and say, oh, I was over at her store and you know what she said, X, Y, and Z was terrible. Really? Well, let's talk to right, and then you're just down the rabbit hole. So I don't like that. Or they're concerned about themselves, which is a second possibility. Are you okay? Because I'm not. And businesses who know it's not going well can feel conflicted. I just got a diagnosis that melanoma is back on my skin after 2 years ago. We had some stuff taken off, and that's disconcerting, needless to say. And so we're still waiting for further information. But if somebody asks me how I'm doing today, I'm doing great. I'm doing fine. I don't want to let anybody know into that world. I certainly don't want to have other people saying, "Oh, well, what can we do? Oh, I'm so sorry." It's like, that's not why I want it, right? My intimate friends may know that, but for everybody else, they want to hear great. I was interviewed on back in the 90s. I had a cowboy story. I've told you this 100 times. And the news media came by, and it was a really tough Christmas. I mean, it was slow, and they'd been to several mall stores, and they're saying how, oh, yes, it's down 10, 15, 20%. And they came to my store, and I said, oh, yeah, we've had a record year. And my mind was, we have a record year of people coming in the door. Why would I put out anything less? So in business, it's the same as ourselves, right? You want to be thinking about what do they want to hear? And if they're interested in it, it's just human. Think about yourself when you meet somebody at a party. What do you say? How you doing? Oh, and what do we say automatically? Doing great. It's just the way we talk. So I think retailers sometimes get so caught up in it, and just be glad they're talking to you. But that's them initiating the conversation, and you're the one that's supposed to be driving the conversation. And I think if you're welcoming people and then they look around your store and then they ask that, why didn't you get in the conversation before? Because I think people who are engaging other people, they're going to go through and they're going to have a different conversation that as well. So there you go. All right. Thanks for that, Nancy. I appreciate that. So then we have some people say it really feels insulting. My employees have said, I'm not sure how it's doing, but I'm still employed. I don't like that at all. Other people say business is great. I don't think that they're nosy and rolling your eyes. There's an Instagram account where this young woman has I don't even know what the product is, but she makes fun of all the customers that come in. Like, somebody who looks in and says, "Oh, how's it going?" And then they walk out, or "Here, I want some money for my nonprofit." And it's funny, but I think if that's really your store, I would be saying, why is she there? Because there's never anyone in the store, and it doesn't look like a going concern. So be careful the message that you're putting out. Fair enough? Millie says, any tips for handling employee apathy or burnout? Well, I think it's usually the other way around. Burnout happens sooner. I always think the mind leaves about 3 weeks before the body. So if it's apathy, again, what are you giving them to do during the day? Not everybody is busy all day long. And what can they learn? What's an AI tool they could be teaching? Could they be going on competitors' websites and seeing what they're doing and reporting back to you? Could they be going through your back stockroom and reorganizing it, or getting ready for the holidays? Could they be doing returns? Could they be teaching somebody else some kind of a feature and benefit? There's a million things, but that's the hard part, isn't it? That as an owner, you've got to be able to engage those employees and not just leave them alone and think they're going to be fine. Think of it like any relationship, because a lot of times we have relationships, we don't really connect. We don't try to find ways to find things in common. And what do? We let it kind of slide. And then one day somebody says, I don't want this. Well, it's no different than your customers. So I hope you enjoyed what we had to say today. Today was 25 minutes. And if you like this, I hope you'll share it with your friends, and we'll try this again towards the end of October. I'm traveling. I'm going to be at the Sports Excellence Congress in Toronto mid-month. I'm going to be joining TAA in the Dominican Republic at the end of October. And then I'm going to be in Philadelphia with the Apple Specialist Marketing Company in end of October as well. So full stream. Anyway, remember, we are about as happy as we make our minds up to be. I don't care if somebody asks how you're doing. Just make sure you answer the right way, which is business is great. I'm Bob Phibbs, the Retail Doc.